You're listening to the Practical Wealth Show with Curtis May, putting you in the driver's seat to control your finances. Let's start the Practical Wealth Talk about alternatives to Wall Street.
All right. Hey, everybody. Curtis May here from the Practical Wealth Show. Happy New Year. As you get this, we should be, I'm recording this on the January 2nd. And so when you get this, you should be in the first week of the new year. And so I wanted to do a quick podcast where to kind of keep you up to date. We've got some good interviews in the works that we're scheduling. And so our theme is going to be this year is to continue to bring you, alternative investments. We're going to go deeper on the strategy so you can really learn how to run your personal economy with the rules that the wealthy use. Okay. And how to build legacy wealth. Most importantly, focusing on building cash flow. You want to buy assets that send you a check every month, right? And then with that, where I want to talk to, ways to generate income. One of the things that, if you look at the, as we record this, the tax package just passed. And, one of the things that we always have to realize that, I spent some time with Tom Wheelwright with, one of the Rich Dad advisors. And, I'd already known this, but if you read the Rich Dad, there's really two tax codes, right? There's one for wage earners and one for business people. And so when I hear that, so you got to have perspective, right? So when I hear that, I'm like, okay. And you should look at that and say, well, okay, I need to be in business, right? I need, you might need to incorporate. So if they're going to lower tax rates to 20%, guess what does that mean? You need a home-based business and you need to incorporate. And you got to learn the rules of the game, folks. It just is. So you can get up and down, jump up and down if you want to, but you just need to learn how to play the game of capitalism. Tom Wheelwright says tax code. Code is another word for map. Right? And the tax code is a treasure map. So if you read him and Kiyosaki's latest book, Why the Rich Get Richer. Why do they get richer? Debt. They use debt. Why? Because the way the Federal Reserve and the way our monetary system works, it's really hard to save. So right now, if you got all W-2 income, you get to earn your money. You get taxed, so you're losing 30, 35, 40% to taxes. So it's hard to get ahead on. So you say, well, I make 100,000. Well, you really don't make 100,000. You make like 65 or 70 net, right? After all and not just federal, but all the taxes, right? And so what happens is, how can you minimize your number one transfer of your wealth would be taxes. So how can you legally avoid taxes? Well, if you make Uncle Sam your partner and do what it is they want you to do, which is what? The tax code, what does the government need done? They need to create jobs. Well, who creates jobs? Small business people, but most of the jobs are most corporations are not IBM and, all these big companies. It is, people with 50 employees or less are responsible for about, I heard some number, 75% of the jobs. So, if I don't care if you're in Mary Kay, if you got an affiliate marketing, you've got to find a way. I'm going to go in. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on this year on having a side hustle, because security is the ability to produce. So the government wants you to provide jobs. Who creates jobs? Businesses, not politicians. Provide housing. Who's that? Real estate investors. So that came through unscathed. Surprise, because look at the background of our president, business owner, real estate investor. So he's not going to work against his own interests. So if you read Robert Kiyosaki's and Donald Trump's book, Why We Want You to Be Rich, you got to see, folks, you got to look into the philosophy of people that in charge and align your interests with their belief system, and you'll be okay. The government wants you. So what did I say? You want to provide jobs, housing, or developing housing, provide food, and provide energy, right? And so if you can arrange your affairs where you're doing that or investing that in something, things like that, that will provide a very favorable tax situation for yourself, where if you just go to work, run up more debt and go to work for a job, you're going to get killed. All right. And so just understand the game. As I always say, don't hate the player, hate the game. Right. And so you've got to learn the game. You've got to learn the game of free enterprise. And it's just, just get over it and learn the game. That's what I'm going to say to that. So in going into planning your success, which is the title of this episode, we're going to keep this short, but I went through a little workshop, and so I was taking notes on that. So one of the things you want to get good at, if you want to get good at something, you got to practice, study, and teach. So I want to teach you all, do a little workshop towards the end of the year. I kind of work on my goals. And so I'm just going to kind of share with you an outline. So get a sheet of paper as you're listening to this. And on your left-hand side, I want you to draw a vertical line from top to the bottom of the page. Not a horizontal, not across the page, but vertical, right? And then put January, draw a circle, and at the bottom of the page, put December, right? And then I want you to put 4 lines, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, okay? And you want to look at your year, and I want you to set goals in specific areas. Okay. So this, and so one of those folks, you got to be in business. You need to, if you don't have one, let me know. Let's talk about it, and we'll, find you an affiliate program and show you how to now put yourself on the business owner side of the tax code. One of the things I'm doing with my existing client right now is I'm teaching them how to do that and teaching them a strategy called income shifting. Okay. So that you can, we call it flip your cash flow and get more money coming in your pocket by properly completing your W-4 according to the IRS. 80% of most people have that filled out wrong. If you have a business now, you can turn that over to page 2. And I've helped people save anywhere from $200 to $800 a month. Okay. And by properly filling out their W-4, that put money in their pocket. And so with that money, now you can pay off your debt and begin to not have a deficit every month where you're running into bank charges and, running up debt because your cash flow is so impacted. So the first, there will always be more opportunity to minimize your losses than there is to try to pick winning investments. So the first thing you got to do is stop giving your money away and become more efficient. Sometimes like a broken record, because that is everything. Okay. Now, so let's talk about, now you've got that written out, right? So what happens is I want you to try to set goals for yourself, because so many people just kind of meander through life, a ship without a rudder, and you just kind of let life happen to you. Okay. And you've got to have a direction so that you get, so that when you get up in the morning, when your feet hit the ground, you got to know what you're trying to get accomplished. Especially those of you that are in business, that are trying to be in business, your network marketers, your real estate, insurance people, or, you're in some 1099 business. See, folks, there's 2 types of people in the world. There's work processors and there's work creators. And so if you're going to be a work creator, you've got to be focused. Okay. So here are 5 areas that we're going to talk about focusing on: leadership skills, team development, systems, and your actions or activity schedule. So one of the things that you want to do is, your best investment is always the first thing is not, I don't want a financial advisor, but it's not really about, products can't win for you. Okay. I don't care, what somebody tells you. It's not Bitcoin. It's not this latest greatest mutual fund or ETF. That has nothing to do with anything. So your best investment is in between your 2 ears. Okay. And so one of the things that you want to, on purpose, is you've got to develop your leadership skills. Okay. And so how are you doing that? What is your plan to do that? All right. And so what happens is what you want to be able to do is say, all right, I have to, let's say you want to read, one of the things I challenge my clients to do is read a book a month on money. Okay. And, because let's say you're in business, you're trying to build a team. I heard somebody say self-leadership precedes team leadership. So you've got to work on your leadership skills if you're ever going to grow. All right. And so the 12 books, what are the 12 books? So list out, if you send me an email to kurtmay@gmail.com, I'll send you my reading list. There's more than 12 on there. And so 12, one a month. So can you read 12 to 15 pages a day? This is right out of Jeff Olson's book, The Slight Edge, right? You've got to work on your philosophy, which is what you watch, who you hang around, what you listen to, and what you read. So I want you to write out the 12 books you're going to read this year, okay? There's always room for growth. You got to realize there's always room for growth. There's nothing new under the sun, and every day you got to get better. So what happens is by March 31st, what are the 3 books you're going to have read? So again, break it down by quarter, and then break it down by month. What book are you going to read in January? So I will go a little bit deeper, and I'll say, look, what book I personally read, you should read a book a month. I'm going to put an Audible link up on our website, an audio book a month minimum, and a podcast a day, or at least 2 or 3 podcasts a week on topics that interest you, leadership, marketing, a fun one, and good articles, that kind of stuff. I'm going to start, if you're on my email list, I'm going to start picking out a Jim Rohn a day. Go to YouTube and search out Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, and just listen to, at first thing in the morning, listen to a Jim Rohn a day, and you will be changed by this time next year. Okay. And, I also want you to look out what events you plan to attend. So I have a 12-month calendar. So I listed out, first thing I listed out was when do I want to have off? Okay. So I don't want to work any weekends. I put in my calendar business trips, conventions I want to attend. My wife and I talked about a trip that we want to take in August, our vacation, and I want to go on one getaway a quarter, one with the kids, or in 1 weekend a month, and without the kids, all right? Because mommy, daddy need time alone. And, but you got to plan that, you see, because what happens is, what is your ideal life? See, everything you do, your business, your finances, I always go back to am I leading my ideal life? Okay. And, so that has to be purposeful. So what are the events that you're going to attend for personal development? For one of my clients is going to a Les Brown event and John Maxwell to kind of grow her coaching business, right? So we were talking about how to organize your finances to do that, because that's an investment. So your first investment is in between your 2 ears, your mindset. Then you've got to invest in your skill set. So what are the, on purpose, what are the new skills that you need to learn? So I've got new software I want to invest in, some new methodologies. We may add college planning to our practice. So every year I'm looking to be better because I want to be best in class, right? What are you doing on purpose? What is your goal for this quarter to learn a new skill, learn new marketing? Are you going to learn Facebook ads? Are you going to learn how to do Amazon sourcing? You've got to make more money. See, having a business, if you're not in business, is not optional. That's what you got to understand. It's like, I can't sell and blah, blah, blah. Get over it. Okay. Because it's not trying to knock on doors, convince people to buy something they don't want or need, but you've got to be able to help people. You got to develop the skill set, because security is the ability to produce, guys. All right. So those are your leadership skills. Okay. I'm going to kind of breeze through these. So let's talk about team development. So I'm thinking about, all right, one of the things that I have to do is I realize is that I can't be the chief cook and bottle washer. And so neither can you. So I need administrative help. I need help with marketing. So right now I'm looking at, looking at not as a cost, which I used to do, but as an investment, develop a team so that I have leverage, of helping people, on social media stuff. I have a team that helps me get this podcast out, right? And so that's what you've got to do so that you're focused on the main thing, and I'm performing on my unique ability, right? I told my unique ability, I like doing workshops, but I don't like setting up workshops. I always tell people, look, I'm Prince, right? I just sing. I want to show up, with my guitar or my laptop, right? And I'm just going to sing, and then boom, Curtis is out, off to my next show. And, but I need somebody to sell the tickets, to take the names, do the follow-up appointments. So how does that work in your life, in your business? All right. Shouldn't be mowing your own lawn. Okay. Those type of things. And don't give somebody a great excuse to get out of work. Don't have your wife hit me. All right. Or vice versa. Right. And, so what do you need to outsource? So I'm looking at quarter by quarter, who can I add to my team, administrative help, support staff, so that I have the capacity to hit my numbers this year, right? And I can't do that if I'm trying to do everything. So what should you outsource? So these are questions you need to ask yourself in team development, and you focus on every month, every quarter, adding a new component to your team, okay? Who is on my mastermind team? So we're looking at forming a couple of local masterminds in the area. And so if you're the smartest person in the room, you need a new room. If you're in thought leadership, you might want to have a mastermind that you lead, and then you want to have another mastermind that you're part of where you're the low person on the totem pole, right? And which is I'm working on. Where I just want to sit there and just be the dummy and lowest paid person in the room, right? And so that's team development. The third thing you want to focus on is looking at the year. So by first quarter, what are the systems? See, write this down. Systems win, people fail, right? And so if you ever read Michael Gerber, The E-Myth, entrepreneurial myth, why most businesses fail and what you can do about it, is that most people aren't in business. They've just had an entrepreneurial seizure. Right? Oh, I'm best smart in this knucklehead. I can do this better. So you just jump out there, but all you do now is you're a S, to use the cash flow quadrant. You just own a job with no time off, no benefits. And if you're not working, you don't make any money. So you want to have a system, and what can you automate? I'm big on we're automating our marketing, automating follow-up systems. I did a workshop the other night, teaching the income shifting to a group of, network marketers. And, I said, how many of y'all like a free ebook? And I have a system that we use. Hit me up and I'll tell you about it. But I said, listen, can you text cash flow hashtag ebook to 26786, right? And so what that does is that gives them the ebook that I shared from Kim Butler, Financial Planning Has Failed, and it puts them in a system that will follow up and educate them to allow people to call me when they're ready, right? So what systems? That's text. I have email. I have a snail mail follow-up system. So what systems do you have? Okay, what systems do you need to add over the next, breaking down in 90 days that you want to add into your business or in your life, actually, to even make your life more frictionless. Okay. What actions? The last one is actions. What are you going to do to create the activities to hit your number? Okay. If you're in business, how do you fill your calendar? One of the things that is I'm focusing on is, creating more content. I'm looking at what local event. So on a weekly basis, what local event that can you attend? So you have to do this on purpose, folks. I have a lot of people, and I'm talking to some of my network marketing friends that just, folks, you can't talk to your friends and family forever. You got to develop new people. You have to learn out there. Business is a contact sport. So if you've got a business, your professional services, you've got to let people know what you do. And so you've got to think about, how to do that, how to attract people to you. Success is something that you attract by the person that you become. All right. And so, look at attending a local event weekly. meetups. There's a lot of, Eventbrite, and just see what's out there that interests you, or that works with the ideal client that you'd like to meet, or has a group of people that work with the ideal client that you'd like to meet. What's a regional event that's, let's say, within an hour or so that you can attend monthly? Okay. And some of these aren't free, folks. You got to pay. What I realize is sometimes you got to pay to be in the right room. And if they have opportunity to go, I remember I went to see Laura Langmeyer last year, and I upgraded to a VIP so that I could have lunch with her. So if you on my Facebook page, you saw that picture, and just, I wanted to see what she talks about. I wanted to see how she runs an event business. She's basically a financial educator, and how she does her network, what she talks about, because we have a lot of similar philosophies. I love her work. She's got a great book called The Millionaire Maker. So I like processes. She's very process oriented. She's like, she used to work for Robert Kiyosaki. She's the one that started the cash flow clubs. And she's kind of like the anti-Susie Orman. So I love her. And, so, what national events are you going to go to, for your business? But also, we're looking at a couple of events, medical association events where I might have to set aside some, $3, $4, $5 to vend there. But, it gets me in front of my ideal clients. Okay. And so, I'm looking at 2 that are in Orlando with a couple of groups, right? And so what national events can you attend? Personal development, market, business development. And, are you working on creating content that attracts leaders to you? Are you podcasting? Are you shooting videos? You can do things like sponsor and speak. So if you go to a meetup, you say, listen, I'd like to, sponsor the room, or here's some pizza, and you develop yourself a little 2 to 5 minute talk that leads them to your, hey, here's, I got a free gift, text, cash flow to 26786, something like that. And you start driving people, to your business, Can you do joint workshops with other professionals that y'all have that same ideal client base? What is your referral system? Email marketing, text marketing. So, what are the actions that you're going to do? I'm trying to do 3 to 5, what I call forum calls. Just stay in touch with my clients and see how they're doing. It's not, and sometimes I drop the ball in this. So I'm working at creating a system that reminds me to do that every day. One of the things I want to do is look for ways to express gratitude and, send out 2 thank you cards a day or something, and, just express gratitude for, good service or what have you. And, just develop goodwill, because that stuff comes back. You're all in a relationship business. So you've got to learn to, be in relationships. So what happens is, if you went through this and you're drawing this out, I would put a box. I'd put leadership skills, team development, systems, and actions, and in the middle of the page that you're writing down, and then just break it down. So, okay, listen, what am I going to do first quarter? What am I going to do second quarter? What am I going to do third quarter? What are my revenue goals? I was listening to a Michael Hyatt podcast on Evernote. So I could go into that another time. I'm discovering the wonderful world of Evernote. And just, there is something, look it up. Mark Benoff does something called, let me do a show on this, called a V2 Mob. Okay, that he built Salesforce.com on. V stands for, V2 Mob, right? V2 Mob. That vision, values, those are the 2 V's, methods, obstacles, and measurement, right? And so I would draw that out. So I would just about finish my V2 Mom. Actually, I finished my V2. No, I didn't. I finished my V2 Mom. So I did my goals. So I broke out like 9 goals. Goals in business, which is the V2 Mom. Goals in my financial goals, which is separate from the business, right? The money from the business is going to generate, the properties or the things that my wife and I want to invest in. I'm focused on hard developing passive income. Time I want to spend, date nights and stuff to do with the kids, game nights. I want to get them playing cash flow. And you get some neighbors, some other teenagers are going to play that. They're playing that once a month. And just get to know people and, teaching the game. What are your fitness goals? Right? I'm going to work, I set goals and so what happens, I have a table of contents of those goals, and then in Evernote, I'm creating a page of what I'm going to do week to week, quarter by quarter. Where I want my weight to be. How do I want to work out? Okay, can I do a sprint triathlon? Do we go, kayaking? What is my fun list of stuff to do? I want to drive a NASCAR, thing for my birthday this summer. And, so, you can't work all the time. So you want to think about that and make your year happy, hit your revenue goal. Okay. What are your, and so you got to think about that. And so that you want to be able to look at your goals every week. Okay. Because I'm training some people in the business, and I said, listen, you might not be ready to work with me because Curtis is kind of intense, but you give me permission to basically put my foot up your behind in a nice way, out of love. But all I'm going to do is beat you over the head with your goals. Okay. And so because you can't work for me, I always even tell my financial clients, listen, it's your money. It encourages money. So it can't be more important to me than it is to you. So, of course, I always went longer than I expected to go. But listen, what I want you to do is go into the year, plan to win. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? And so get in there and make life happen. Don't just let life happen to you. And we're going to have a great 2018. We're going to bring some really good information in front of you guys. Please continue to listen, like, and share the show. We're doing well, and I thank you so much for that. And you have a fantastic day and 2018. See you soon.
Thanks for listening to Practical Wealth. To access the show notes and resources, go to practicalwealthshow.com. To get your questions on the show, go to practicalwealthshow.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any investment decisions, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Practical Wealth. Written permission must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting.